Alright guys, so we're in late 2020, so I'm making a super quick guide to 2021 if you're a complete beginner to music production and EDM and you do not know what to do. We'll try to make this super quick. It's 12:57. We'll try to get you out of here in less than 10 minutes. Number one, you need some kind of a machine to run all your gear on, whether it be a gaming laptop or a gaming tower. The word gaming keyword there for both, to make a much more in-depth conversation short. Gaming towers and gaming laptops have the power to run what you need, and you won't regret it. The options far surpass any other machine out there, in, including Apple and Mac. So get yourself a gaming tower. That's going to be the cheaper option, and the one that's easy to get into and work on. But if you're super mobile and you can't foresee yourself using a tower, use a laptop. If you travel a lot and you need something quick, the only problem with laptops are they're not really upgradable, or easily upgradable. So they're gonna fade quick. Whereas the tower, you can continue to get in there, work on it, replace parts. So think about a machine of some sort, shop around. But if it were me, I would get a gaming tower or a gaming laptop, or build your own gaming tower for sure. For more info on that, check out my beginners course, beginners start here course, step 1. I go into a lot more in-depth detail about how to build one. Buying a DAW, you need some kind of software to make music in, right? Currently I use Ableton, but I'm slowly starting the process of learning FL Studio. FL is a better price point. Put simply, it's lifetime updates for a little less than $300. So it's pretty darn good. Ableton to me is a lot more intuitive though, and just kind of thinks like you want to think, and is allowing for lazy maneuvers. Meaning, if you want to drag and drop something in Ableton, I have found for the most part they take that into consideration. And whatever you want to drag and drop or do or move, usually you can. It kind of thinks based on how you think. It's cool. So those would be my two arguments. Ableton being more intuitive. FL, from what I can see so far, is cheaper, has lifetime updates, and a lot of you may not consider that now, but consider 2, 3, 5, 7 years down the road. I don't like paying for updates. I'm really not into that, and it just, I get that things have to progress over time, but sometimes you just don't have the money for the update, and it can be kind of draining and a time waster. So those things are things to think about. Ableton is going to be more expensive but more intuitive. You're going to pay for every single update. FL, little less intuitive, a little bit more of a learning curve, but once you have it, you have it. Lifetime updates are given to you. You need some sort of speakers or ways of hearing this. I highly recommend these guys right here, the Audio-Technica M50X. $150. That's really all you need. If you could spring for a pair of Yamaha HS80s, that's a great second reference to have. Yamaha HS80s, or HS8s, I guess they call them. These are something great to kind of have in the studio as well, just so that way you can hear the difference between what your music sounds like on these speakers versus what your music sounds like on these headphones. So something to think about there, but at the very least, cheapest option are your Audio-Technica headphones. And then you don't need to buy stands either, because that's the thing. Once you buy speakers, you kind of need to start to think about a desk or stands or proper setup, things of that nature. The last three things here, I would probably recommend Vengeance samples to start with, just because of the name that they have in the industry and the quality that they pump out. But these guys haven't really made a sample pack in a few years, and I guess it'd be kind of fair to say, to a degree, they might be falling behind a little. They may come out with something next year that completely proves me wrong on that. But the other thing with samples are they're just one hits. So what I mean by that is, and a lot of these packs have loops as well, but it's usually not every single instrument. So what I mean by that is like a kick drum in these packs is just one kick drum hit. It's just a kick. Whereas with other websites like Loopmasters, you can buy stems. Stems are basically an entire kick drum. It's one kick drum, but it's laid out for whatever 3 minutes, and you can hear where the intro is, where the break would be, because obviously in a break there's not usually a kick at all. And then where the drop would be, obviously, where the kick comes back in after the break. So stems are a really nice way to kind of get a 2-for-1, where you've got the sound itself, which is great, but then aside from the sound itself, it's also already laid out for you. So arrangement is sort of taken care of, and that can really help with creative flow. So if you have a kick stem that's laid out, and you drag and drop it into your DAW, and it's already laid out for 3 minutes, well, all you have to do is have your other things follow that. Your bass lines, your leads, your vocals. Obviously in the drop, where the kick drum comes in, that's a good place to obviously put everything. Your bass line, your leads, your vocals, and all of that. Where you don't hear a kick, that's clearly not the drop. So it kind of has laid out the arrangement for you, which can be very, very nice. So yeah, guys, samples over here, a lot of one hits, bass lines, lead sounds, drums galore. You put them into your sampler, which every DAW nowadays basically comes with a sampler, and you're good to go. Learn how to use your sampler and make tracks. If arrangement tends to be an issue, you might go for stems, or at least buy one stem pack. Meaning, you could buy this. How much is this? Virtual cache. Well, it looks like... Oh, okay, so there's different kits you could buy. So you could listen to the different kits here, and I guess buy one kit for $6.42. Having just one stem kit could be nice, because now what's happening is you have some sort of arrangement layout, and then you can use those arrangements later on. When you have samples, you can follow those arrangements with these samples. So that could be very helpful. If you do have some money to play with and you think this might be a better option for you, personally I would go for samples and stems first. Although neither one is both are not absolutely necessary. It just depends on if you kind of have an issue with arranging tracks, which everybody has an issue with that at first, and until you learn how. But if you want to get going quickly, stems are where it's at. If you want really high quality samples and you feel confident that you could hammer out the overall pattern of a song, the arrangement, then Vengeance sample sound packs all the way. If you're feeling a little bit like you kind of know what I'm talking about, and all this is kind of beginner stuff, and you're ready to take the jump, I'd probably go for the 250 starter pack of Nexus. Simply because, as I've said in a lot of my videos, Nexus doesn't really make garbage sounds. It's not going to teach you how to sound design, because there's really no sound design with it. Or not really. It's not really a synthesizer. It's more of a rompler or a sampler, if you will. But the sounds that come with this are going to get you going lightning fast. It's plug and play. If you want to get a future house sound super quick, I think you can see here, dubstep, EDM leads, electro house. I said future house, so I'd like to use that as an example. Here we go, future house 1 and 2. If you bought this future house sound pack for $60, or maybe you prefer the future house 2 sound pack, or maybe you have money for both and you want to get both, you'll sound like future house. Plain and simple. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're not going to spend $60 on the future house 2 sound pack and then regret it. So just keep that in mind. Whatever sound you're looking for, Moombahton, house, future bass, progressive, tropical, Swedish house mafia style sound, spinning house, you're gonna sound like those descriptions right out of the gate. So Maybe a combination of Vengeance and Nexus would be nice. You've got your Vengeance samples, which you can pretty much use anywhere on just about any computer, versus Nexus that you kind of need to have a little bit of a darn good computer to run it. So the only thing with that is, if you can't afford a gaming tower or a gaming laptop and you just have a basic laptop, I would go for the sample sound packs. If you have something with some processing power, I would go for Nexus. So I hope that helps you guys get started. Ask any questions, watch my other videos, join the Music Academy, and let's get you going.